So my name is Heather Molnar. I am a mother, a wife, a daughter, an aunt, a doctor, a teacher. The Bible passage that I think of often is from Colossians 3, and there's also a verse from 1 Corinthians, and they both talk about everything you do, do it in the name of the Lord, or do to the glory of God. And so that's what goes through my mind every day, is what I'm doing, am I doing it to glorify my Savior? It actually makes the job easier in a way, like if you're just working your hardest to do what God would want. Even when you fail, that's your goal. Growing up, I pretty much always wanted to be a doctor. I think since about the age of 7, I started thinking about it. I thought about a lot of things, but it always just kept coming back to, I thought that seemed like an interesting career and challenging, and my father was one of my people that I look up to the most. That's what he did with his life. So I told my parents I wanted to be the president for a while, which I'm really glad I didn't decide to do that. But I'm happy with where the Lord's led me. Becoming a doctor, every career has its challenges. It's a very long academic process. You have to go through a lot of school, and there were a lot of moments where I thought, did I pick the right thing? I'm doing my very best work, and it's still a struggle. And I had always, kind of sailed through my younger years of academics. So the farther I got, the harder it was, and so that was always a question. Am I picking the right thing? And then, even physically, it's pretty grueling. We had a lot of long hours, just working in the hospital overnight, So those were struggles, just physical and mental exhaustion. But I got advice. My father, who's a great mentor to me, I've had a lot of great mentors just in my job. And they just said, you do your best, and it's going to be fine. And the further along you get, things get harder in some ways, but you've got people want you to succeed, so you develop a support network, and you see that in other people. That's one advice I have for young people is seek out mentors in every stage of your life. Find those people that you connect with, that you can go to and ask questions, that you can learn from, and keep them around. Put their number in your cell phone and hold it dearly, because those are people that you can fall back on and learn from as you go. The vast majority of what you do in your job, you don't really get out of the textbook. That lays the foundation, but the rest is from the people around you that have been doing it longer. So, one piece of advice I received that helped me was to just keep trying your best, and to almost look at failure as a chance to grow. And I think that's important in any job. You're never going to be perfect, and that's part. If you look at it as a learning process, then you're not afraid to have a mistake or a failure. You take it and you get better from it. And so the people around me, my father included, said, everything's a chance to learn and grow, and keep trying. So the ethical dilemmas that I face as a doctor, I think abortion is probably one of the biggest ones. It's something that is taught to be a medical treatment for women, and it doesn't coincide with anything we learn as Christians about valuing human life. There's catastrophic situations where a mother's life is in danger, and an abortion would be a way to preserve her life. And otherwise, it's considered, sacrificing a child, which is a life that's just as valuable. So there have been situations in my practice where women have come to me asking for a pill that would kill their child. And I am very honest that I don't agree with it. Now, as a doctor, I am obligated to provide them avenues of care if I can't provide them. So what I do is I have a talk with them about, you don't have to do this. I can find someone that could even adopt your child, or I can find you other ways, that we don't have to we don't have to kill that child. If they still feel that that's what they have to do, I give them other providers that can give them the service that they need, and that's the way that I've practiced. Those days never feel good, and they never feel right.
Could you get into trouble for saying even that?
Oh, the Christianity part of it? Oh, like that you don't have to kill a child? I don't. So, in private practice, I am my own. My patients are my boss. So if they don't, most of them are. I'm pretty open about my spiritual life. So most of them know I come from a Christian background. But some, in fact, I've had 3 situations where women have come to me over the years, and they knew that I wouldn't agree with it. They said, "I know that you're not going to like what I have to say," and so I haven't worried about. And I think in a legal way, as long as I provide them the care, an avenue to the care that they need, I'm fine. I'm within the realm of still serving the person's needs. So. I mean, could someone sue me because I didn't prescribe a pill for them? They probably could, but I think as long as I said, well, I gave you the name of a person that would give it. They were able to get you in within a day. I don't think that part would go far. And I don't really practice in that way of what can I do to not get sued, because chances are I'm going to get sued at some point. It's a dark thought, but it'll probably happen. It's just the nature of the job, but you just do the best you can and have a reason why you did it. My devotional life and worship life has sustained me being a doctor, in that it gives me a way to be grounded and centered, and helps me stay focused. A lot of times when you work in a job, there's people from all different walks of life that can easily lead you in other directions, and the things you learn aren't necessarily Christ-centered. And so if you always have a weekly time where you're brought back to why we do what we do, which is to serve Christ, it actually makes every job easier. It simplifies things. When it's all said and done, if you approach even a blood pressure problem about teaching someone how to care for their body, it becomes more than just giving them a pill and sending them on their way. It becomes, how are you living? Are you taking care? Are you eating right and exercising? And do you have a good spiritual life and social life? I mean, those are all keys to the puzzle, and so I think that's important. So I love what I do because it's a job that lets me work with people every day. It lets me use my brain to solve problems. I get to teach. I learn about the body. Every day is a challenge, so I enjoy that. The joy in my work is in seeing when I talk to people, they come in with a question usually or concern, and I get to go through it with them and I usually try to teach them about what's happening and how we're going to try to solve it. And sometimes I get that light bulb moment in someone's eyes, and that's what makes me feel happy, and that I'm really helping people. I know Jesus values my work because he values all of us as people. He cared about us enough to die on the cross for us, and so the jobs that he gives us to perform on this earth have value to him.